Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Helgeson, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kentuckiana. I am thrilled that you are able to join us today for our first ever virtual Blue Door Bash. Our Blue Door Breakfast Bash is typically held in November each and every year. Due to the ongoing demands of COVID-19, we are bringing you a virtual experience to showcase our clubs. This 3-day experience will feature a tour daily, facilitated by our club leaders. We are excited to show you all of the great work taking place as you step through the door of the club. The blue door symbol has meaning and resilient strength. When members step through our door, it opens to offer daily access to a safe place where kids create supportive relationships, and they are given the opportunity to grow and learn. Our kids often for the first time have someone to look up to and a caring adult mentor. These everyday heroes work with our kids through programming focused on academic success, character and leadership, and healthy lifestyles. When our members exit through the blue door, it symbolizes leaving one thing and moving on to the next. This is the point in which we have equipped our kids with the strengths and life skills to become the future leaders, innovators, and problem solvers who will shape our world. You will find the door of our clubs in neighborhoods, also across the country. We believe the way to success means we must be there right in the neighborhoods alongside the communities, fighting for our kids' futures. We use our strength of purpose to inspire us and fuel our determination to make a difference. The work matters to us. We never give up, we never quit, we never stop our relentless pursuit of changing lives. We fight hard daily for the success of every kid entering our doors. And this did not stop in 2020. The persistence and determination was evident and at times overwhelming. In March, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kentuckiana transitioned into a resource center for our youth. In the early days of COVID, we had to pause in-person engagement, but we remained connected and available to the youth and families we serve through daily meals, virtual learning, and the distribution of supplies. I am so grateful and proud of our staff. They remained committed to our youth and continued to show up daily, stepping in as frontline workers, ensuring our families received meals and needed items daily. Did you know that the clubs reopened in person with full-day programming in July of 2020? You heard that correctly. Since July, our clubs reopened with plans in place of social distancing, proper sanitizing, and mask requirements. As the school year began in August with virtual instruction, our clubs remained open for full-day programming. The clubs transitioned to non-traditional learning instruction, or better known as NTI learning hubs. The last year has been a very trying time for many, but I am especially blown away by the determination of our club staff and board of directors. The club staff are truly the organizational heroes. They did not turn away or even contemplate whether they should return to the clubs. They simply stated, if we do not show up for our members, who will? If we are not open, who will feed our kids? If we are not open, who will help them with school? If we are not open, will they have an adult they can turn to? One young gentleman sticks out to me from Newburgh. He lost one of his parents during the pandemic, but continued attending the club and leaning on staff. He continued to struggle with school and was sitting at over 175 missing assignments. Once his father passed away, he was trying to clutch onto any new reason to exist. He shared that he planned to drop out of school, and with everything online, he felt very isolated. Each day, the club staff worked with him on his missing assignments, one day at a time. But most importantly, they were there to listen and to lift him back up. He is now on track to graduate high school on time. He plans to pursue his dream of attending the University of Kentucky. This is only one of many of our success stories that we have at our clubs. I truly hope that you enjoy our event today, which includes a club tour and a panel discussion. I would like to personally thank our sponsors, board of directors, and all of you for joining us today. Fulfilling our mission of providing hope and opportunity to those who need us most has never been more important. It is now my pleasure to welcome our unit director to the stage to take you on a tour of our club.
Hi everyone, my name is Marvia Presley, and I'm the club director for the Newburgh Boys and Girls Club. Come on in with me. So this is our game room where we also serve lunch. So there's lunch on this side. There is the game room side right here. Currently, this is one of our JCPS teachers, and she is actually helping some of the students right now with NTI. She just finished up one of the 3 math labs that we started because we realized that our kids were just suffering in those areas, math and reading. And so we wanted to provide them with a supplemental math so that they could feel more comfortable and confident in their schoolwork. And welcome to our Valentine's Love Hub. Valentine's Love Hub. Clubs are considered a home away from home. And as a home away from home, you want to make it as cozy and comfortable for the kids as possible. And you want to create that sense of the holidays, that holiday spirit, and get them all caught up in that, especially under these conditions. And here is our computer lab, but it's also now a hub for NTI. And so we have one of our 11 to 12-year-old group in here, Lamborghini. And they stay here and do their work. Currently, they're in the gym, so we're about to see them in a few minutes. So this is the gym. And so right now, they're doing some basketball. A lot of our kids come from right around this neighborhood. What I've noticed with Newburgh is we have the highest amount of foster children that attend this club. And so it's even the more meaningful for us to have these kind of programs for them because, again, it feels like a home away from home. So here we have our STEM program, and we're doing it outside. And STEM, DIY STEM, is do-it-yourself. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And right now they're learning some chemical reactions under the science portion and making slime. So here is Bree Watkins. And Newburgh Boys and Girls Clubs are proud to have her representing us as the Kentucky State Youth of the Year champion. So I'm going to turn it over to Bree.
Hello, my name is Brianne Watkins. Like Ms. Presley just said, I am the Kentucky 2020 Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club. Winning the Boys and Girls Club State Youth of the Year, it meant so much to me because I got to realize that not only am I just a club member, but I'm a leader in the club, and not just my club, but clubs around the state. So I was looked at, everybody heard my story, which gave me anxiety at first of like I'm experiencing and letting people in and putting down my wall, but the more I got to it, the more I realized that me telling my story got to connect to other club members and let them know that there are other people like them, and they were more comfortable to open up to me. So it made me really proud to be able to share my story, and it made me happy to know that I was a leader and I had people looking up at me.
I wish that everyone knew that, yes, we have a gym, but we are so much more than a gym. When these kids walk through our doors, we are game changers, especially in our 3 priority outcome areas, academic success, healthy lifestyles, and creating future leaders for tomorrow. And I really wish that people would understand that Boys and Girls Club offers so much more than just a gym.
Thanks very much for visiting our panel today. I'm Wright Steenrod. My grandfather was one of the founders of the Boys and Girls Clubs over 60 years ago, and I've been a director of the Boys and Girls Club for over 20 years.
Hi, I'm Josh Judah. I'm a board member of the Boys and Girls Clubs in Kentuckiana, and I am Assistant Chief of Police of the Louisville Metro Police Department. We couldn't be happier with our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club.
Hello, my name is Greg Van. I work for Jefferson County Public Schools in the Diversity, Equity, and Poverty Programs Department, and I am the Jefferson County Public Schools representative on the Board of Directors. This is my 2nd year, and I've thoroughly enjoyed our partnership with Boys and Girls Club of Kentuckiana.
Hello, my name is Derica Wells Mercer. My family and I have been volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club for 6 or 7 years. My children are 21, 19, and 14, so they have essentially grown up coming weekly to the clubs and helping out.
Our first question is for Mr. Wright Steenrod. Please talk about your family's involvement with the clubs, and why has your family remained committed to the work of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kentuckiana?
Yes, so my grandfather, John Humphrey, was one of the founders of the Boys and Girls Clubs over 60 years ago. And in that period of time, we've grown from an organization that served tens of kids in this community to an organization that serves 3,000 to 4,000 kids in this community every year. And I just grew up listening to stories of the Boys and Girls Clubs and refereeing basketball games and things like that. And I was thrilled to get the opportunity to join the board over 20 years ago. And I think what our family has found most satisfying of being involved for this long is the Boys and Girls Clubs work. And you get to help kids. And once you've been around long enough on our board, there are a number of board members that have served for many, many years. And I think the reason that is because your contribution is really valued and it works. And so once you see it work, it's really something that's hard to walk away from because you see the good it does every day. And our organization is one that does good every day. And just on our panel here, I think particularly in times like these, when you walk into a Boys and Girls Club, you see every part of this community represented in that club. And every part of this community is come together to make things work and to make kids' lives better. And really, from a director and a volunteer, you just don't get that opportunity too often. So it's a fantastic opportunity to be involved in the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Our next question is for Josh Judah. Can you please speak to the role that clubs play in our community when we think about safety?
Absolutely. So the most important thing to know about the clubs in our community, in Louisville in particular, is where they're located. They're located in some of the neighborhoods that have the hardest challenges in the city, neighborhoods that are dealing with more than their fair share of violence and crime. And what the clubs give is it gives our kids an oasis. It gives our kids a place where they are safe, where they're cared for, where they're loved, and where they're nurtured. And for too many of our kids, they don't get that in any aspect of their lives. And they are literally growing up in environments where they're seeing their friends become victims of violent crime. So for me, why I'm so passionate about the clubs is I believe that our clubs are saving kids' lives. Our clubs are integral to the safety of the community because of the services they offer, because of the love they provide these kids who so desperately need it.
A second question for you, Mr. Judah, is what is life like for a youth who doesn't make it to the club?
Well, for some youth who don't make it to the club, life can be extraordinarily challenging. It can be scary, it can be difficult. Again, the clubs are in the communities where we have the most need for everything in this city, where kids are born with more than their fair share of challenges and obstacles in their way to success. So for the kids who don't have stable parents, the kids who are coming from families that have been affected by crime, by incarceration, by all of the social ills that are the center of every conversation we're having in America right now, without a guidepost, without somebody looking out for them, they're left on their own. That's where the power of the clubs come in, because once they walk through that door, they're not alone anymore, and they've got people who care about them, who are interested in their success, and are keeping them away from the dangerous parts of their neighborhoods.
Our next question is for Mr. Greg Van. Can you please speak to the importance of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kentuckiana in supporting the work of JCPS?
The clubs are very integral in supporting students from JCPS. You talk about homes that may not have or may have issues with technology, homes that may have working parents that are at work and can assist. students with homework. You know, a lot of these homes have parents that work multiple jobs, so they're not at home a lot during the daytime and even going into the evening. So allowing them to have an adult that can assist them with schoolwork, assist them with technology, and also giving them an outlet to do things like play sports in a safe environment are very important to students of JCPS. And also, even when you think about things like child suicide, something that's very prevalent today, as a lot of younger people are committing suicide at ages that we haven't seen in years past. And one of the most important things that you can have to prevent child suicide is an adult that they can talk to, that they can lean on, and that they can trust. So when you have students that come from working homes that may not have an adult that can always give them a listening ear, the staff at the Boys and Girls Clubs are very integral to making sure that we prevent things like suicide, giving them an ear to talk to, helping them work through issues that they just need help working with as young people.
And a second question for you, Mr. Van. Why is it more important now, more than ever, that the club support the academic recovery of our students?
Well, we know that any issue that's happening today is it's a trickle-down effect. So the people that were at the bottom financially before the pandemic that were hit even harder. So a lot of the neighborhoods and the homes that these students come from, they were affected 10 times harder than a lot of us, a lot of people that are viewing this today. Then they were affected by the pandemic. So it's very important for students to, for the partnership to stay strong and for students to continue to be able to come to clubs, because students that were performing low academically, it's just going to be compounded now with the pandemic and post-pandemic. So it's important for students to be able to have this outlet, a place to come to get the assistance that they need to make sure that they're not falling further behind than they were when they were in school. So it's important to make sure we continue to strengthen and keep this partnership with JCPS and the Boys and Girls Club.
Our next question is for Derica Mercer. Please share how you got involved with the clubs.
Years ago, I attended a conference about social justice where one of the speaker's comments had a lasting impact on me and my family. He noted the importance of financially contributing to organizations that are making a difference in the community, like the Boys and Girls Club. But he also noted, to effect lasting change, we need to strive to create relationships with those whom we are serving. That statement was the impetus for my family and I to become volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club. My husband and I knew that donating to the club was investing in the future of our community's most vulnerable children. But until I started volunteering, I had no idea the impact those dollars have and the impact that our physical presence has. There is nothing like walking into the club and seeing smiles, getting hugs, and experiencing the pure joy of the children there. I've spent most of my time in the education room helping the lower and middle school students with homework. I've also implemented a reading program for our young children. Watching our students improve their reading skills is only part of the success. Seeing the pride they feel when they finish a chapter book, or the sense of accomplishment they feel when they help some of the younger members with their books, is hard to put into words because those images are seared in my heart. Right before COVID hit, I had the privilege of being one of the judges for the Youth of the Year competition, and then working with our local winner, Bree, and preparing her for the state competition, which she went on to win. Like anything club-related, this work has impacted me far more than I anticipated. Bree is the poster child of everything good that the club does. Hearing her story and seeing what the club has done for her has reinforced why it is so important for us to fund the club so they can continue to change lives, and also to give of our time so that young people like Bree know that there are adults who care about them and are willing to mentor them. When the clubs reopened and provided a place for our members to do their online schoolwork, I was so proud to be associated with an organization that quickly adjusted its hours and maintained safe practices for everyone. Once again, our community's most vulnerable children would not be left behind. If I'm being honest, I was a little bit jealous because I wanted to be back at the clubs. So Tina Hood and Miss Presley, be prepared, because as soon as it's safe, I'll be knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, waiting to get back in. I'm going to go off my notes for a moment because as I was preparing today, I walked past my bulletin board at home where I have my kids' schedules and artwork from when they were younger, and I came across a letter that one of the young club members wrote me. She had heard that when you read with me, you get a piece of candy at the end of the time. So she decided she would do it reluctantly, but she wanted the candy. And we met weekly, and she would come and read. And after several weeks, she looked at me and she said, "I love reading with you." And I said, "Well, great, I love that." And she said, "Because I love spending time with you. That is why I keep coming back week after week. That is the impact the clubs have on our young community members." So the letter that she wrote, in her beautiful elementary school spelling, says, "Thank you for making me laugh when I read with you. I learn something new every time you pick a book. We all love, love, love you. Sincerely," and then she signed her name. And here is the picture that she gave me. It's a picture of me holding a book with a big heart behind it. And then one of our other young students who was really struggling with reading, was very self-conscious about not being on grade level, gave me this picture. And after weeks of working with her, the confidence that she felt, and even sitting down with other kids and letting them read with her, is remarkable. And so she gave me this picture that I'm not sure if it was her or me, but on it, it says, "I love you." So I guess what I would say in closing is that I have seen firsthand the difference that the clubs are making in our community. I know without a doubt that our young members benefit from everything the clubs provide, from a safe environment to a wonderful staff to excellent programming and even some pretty committed volunteers. As we all have navigated the stress of the pandemic, and I have watched the club respond to what our young members need, my commitment to the Boys and Girls Club has become even stronger. It's a good feeling to know that my family's financial investment is making a difference, and it's a blessing to know that my family's time is helping to change lives. Thank you.
So our final question is for all four of our panelists today. In no particular order, you can answer, why do you support the clubs financially, and why would you ask others to join you?
I'll start it out. I think that, I know this is our city, and I know that we all get news updates to our phone, we read the paper, and we hear about things that go on in our community, and we talk about it, but this is the chance to be about it. She talked about donating financially and being a part of it. It's about being a part of the solution, and the Boys and Girls Club are part of the solution to making Louisville a better place. I really believe that education can help change our city, making sure that everybody in Louisville, all the students, especially students who come to the Boys and Girls Club, get the education and the support and the assistance that they need, and the resources that they need to succeed, because we've seen many examples of students who, once they get the support and resources that they need, they're able to be successful, and it's able to change students' lives. So this is our city, and this is your chance to be a part of the solution instead of just talking about the solution.
Following along with Greg, I've been a police officer in this city for 20 years. I've spent a lot of my time in the neighborhoods where the clubs are located, and I have always been sort of searching for that community organization that walks the walk and talks the talk, that is truly invested in making our kids' lives better, making our kids' lives fun, making our kids feel safe, making our kids feel like they belong somewhere. Because when kids feel that way, I don't have to deal with them in a law enforcement sense, and I don't have to deal with the trauma of seeing them hurt or killed, very frankly. The Boys and Girls Clubs do that. The Boys and Girls Clubs care about our kids and give our kids a place to go where they belong, where they're supported, where they're challenged, and where they are not subject to the problems that are in the outside world. The Boys and Girls Clubs are the best money we can spend on changing the narrative in the neighborhoods they're located in. They are 100% committed to making tomorrow better for the neighborhood, for the community, and especially for the kids that they're serving.
And I think I just want to talk about what the Boys and Girls Clubs have done this year, because what the club's done this year took a lot of years to be able for us to do, and it is something that you couldn't have been, we're the only people that did it in Louisville, and that our clubs are in neighborhoods that are poor and disadvantaged in almost every way, and we're the only source of help available. And we were all faced with what we were going to do when the virus hit. And we basically did everything we could because we have a great staff and we have a great board. And that started with we were going to distribute food. The kids couldn't come to the clubs, but people needed to eat, and this is a very generous community. And so our clubs were distribution points for a lot of volunteers to drop off food. And so we fed the neighborhoods, not just the kids. And then when the Breonna Taylor social justice protest happened, our kids need some place to understand what's going on in the world, and they need some place to grieve. And for me, you need some place to learn about your community in ways that maybe you didn't understand before. And that, when I would go to the Boys and Girls Clubs, that's what you see. And then you come away with so much respect and love for our staff and what they were able to do then. And then, we were able to open on July 15th, which when I tell people still surprises them. And first we opened just because kids needed a place to go and have fun. And then when school started back up and they couldn't go physically to school, they needed a place to learn. And so our clubs became learning centers where we got tutors in to help kids participate and to help them learn and to help them do well in school. And oftentimes our kids did better in our learning centers than they had done in school. And that's what we're still doing. And that takes our staff, it takes our board, it takes volunteers, and it takes donors, because the Boys and Girls Clubs make a difference every day in this community. And when you get involved, you see it and you get to be a part of it.
Like my fellow panelists have mentioned, our city has become one of the epicenters for racial and social justice. And wherever you fall on the issues involved with that, I can assure you the Boys and Girls Club is making a difference. If you want to give money and help us live this mission to help our community's disadvantaged youth, please give. If you have time and you want to work with the kids, we will get you in touch with our volunteer coordinator. If working with kids isn't your thing, but you really like to paint or build, our centers are always in need of some kind of help in that way. This is a concrete way we can make a difference in our community, in our children, in their future. The Boys and Girls Club is changing lives.
Thanks very much for visiting our panel today. We love the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit a Boys and Girls Club. It'll change your life. And participate in the Boys and Girls Clubs. It changes kids' lives.
Good afternoon. My name is Josh Rose, and I'm the board chair for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kentuckiana. As you have heard today from our staff and panel, the Boys and Girls Clubs provide two very important things for the young people: hope and opportunity. And we want to give you the opportunity to give hope for the youth in our community who need us most. Throughout the last 60 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Kentuckiana have proven to be relentless heroes, which we need even more so today with the struggles that 2020 has presented. We have been relentless in providing NTI learning for our kids, relentless in providing a safe haven and fun environment, and relentless in providing a support system for our kids no matter what the situation or need may be. We at the Boys and Girls Clubs work hard every day. We use our strength of purpose to inspire and fuel our determination to make a difference. The work matters to us. We never give up, we never quit, we never stop our relentless pursuit of saving and changing lives. We fight hard daily for the success of every kid entering our doors. We hope that you will consider helping us to continue providing what our kids really need to feel empowered and to succeed. 100% of your donation today goes directly to supporting the mission of the organization. So, how about $3,000? Will anyone step up to give at this level? Let me tell you a little what's included for a young person in a club membership. Daily nutritious meals, one-on-one mentoring with adult volunteers and staff, NTI instruction daily, games room activities, art room projects, clubs to learn skills like cooking, cycling, dance, music, gardening, and culture. We have sports leagues, basketball, and more. For teens, we have ACT prep, job shadowing, scholarships, career speakers, college visits, budgeting, and even personal finance. How about $2,000? Is anyone willing to donate $2,000? How about $1,000? $500? $250? Even $100 makes a big difference to our kids. Your donation truly changes the lives of kids who need it most, and you are their heroes. Thank you for being with us today.